Welcome back, Dang's Dog Block, to another video review. Pete here, this time with SideShow Collectibles 6 scale X-Wing pilot Luke. This particular one is the exclusive version. Comes with the bundled flight gloves, which is, it's nice for an exclusive, but we wish there could be more. A lot of people have been asking, or more like commenting that, hey, it's quite expensive for what you get for the figure. But I like it. It's a well sought after piece, or a well put together piece, I should put. It's a classic, iconic look for Mr. Skywalker in his now famous orange and white Rebel flight suit. So this one, in particular, he's going to look a little different than some other variants that people are used to, whereas he's going to usually have his belt with his holster or with his blaster, but that is more of an Empire Strikes Back kind of look. And then he's also got his outer jacket for the indoor, or not the indoor look, but the Hoth look. So that is different. I really doubt that they would actually go out and make that, but who knows? These Star Wars figures right now are doing phenomenal between SideShow, Hot Toys, and every company right now, hitting it hard with Disney, with the impending release of the movie coming soon. So real quick, we'll go into the accessories that are included with it, then we'll go over articulation, and then talk about the head sculpt, and then finally how the helmet system works between this figure, because it is removable. So included with the figure is 7 total hands. So you're actually going to get 3 sets. You're going to get the gloved hands here, relaxed palms. You're going to get 2 sets of fisted hands, or 1 set, I'm sorry, of fisted hands in the glove. You're going to get 1 hand of the force gesture in the gloved hand, and then you're going to get a set, 1 set of ungloved hands. And really, I would just say, their left or right is designed for him to either one side hold the helmet and or vice versa hold his the exclusive, which is the bundled set of gloves. So there's 2 gloves bundled in there. It's just a hard plastic piece, but that is a part of the exclusive. So that right there is, if you I believe it's still available now for you to get it. But it is a nice piece for it, because I probably will end up displaying him with his ungloved hands, holding the helmet and on display. And then, of course, you're going to get his luscious flowing hair. That is inclusive to go with his head whenever you remove the helmet. And we'll go over that in a minute. So before we do that, we'll look into the actual articulation of the figure real quick. So when we have him right here, so with, of course, with the restriction of his jumpsuit right here, his arms can still go fairly high. So if you ask me, he's got about 280, maybe 300 degrees of sweep. Double jointed elbows. So you get his hands fairly high up. You're going to get the wrist peg that allows his movement of 360, left and up and down. His head, once again, is this one is on a ball joint up top, so you can twist it around 360 degrees. Good movement up and down. So you're going to get it. It's built to where you can adjust at the body and then at the head as well too. So a decent amount of movement there. On top of that, you're going to get a nice little ab crunch here, but you're not going to adjust it too often. Just because you're gonna, with all the all his gear right here, his flap jacket, and then also his belt's gonna impede the movement right there. We'll take him off the base and take a look at his leg movement. It's gonna bundle up fairly quick, so you can only get the leg about that far forward. So maybe only about, I'd say about 45 degrees of movement. Same thing going back, not a ton, just because it's gonna bunch up with the cloth and start pulling. Double jointed legs. And with the boots, you're not going to get any movement at all down here. So it's not a 2-piece or 3-piece design, as we've seen in some characters that have boots where it's cut here and kind of slides over. I do want to touch real quick before we get into how we remove the helmet, how you swap that out, and then the face sculpt. We'll leave that final. But I really do want to just look at his actual the weathering on the helmet before we start taking it apart. And then his the white part of his vest here. If you when you actually get the figure, I'm not sure if it can really translate it on the video here itself, but when you actually get the figure, I mean, you can see that it, you know, looks a little yellowed, a little brownish, which is awesome. It doesn't look pristine white, which it's not. It's designed to be, hey, you know, it's maybe another pilot's worn it before, Luke did, or it just looks, it looks weathered already. So that's a pretty cool touch right there. The orange, it's, you know, you're not going to really, you know, companies really aren't going to go out and really just dirty it, but that's exactly how it looked to me from the movie. He really didn't have it, but this really touches well to how it looked in the movie, a little yellowish, a little staining on that part. Comes with his little respirator kit here. I'm sure that's just more to feed, you know, whatever air, you know, into the suit, you know, that's necessary for flight. But it's nice little details here. You know, if anybody can tell me what these pieces are, if they're ammo or in his belt, as well as on his left arm, as well as around his boots, they are removable, but I'm not going to go into that. Pretty sure they're a little bit more difficult to take out. This piece right here on the side for the buttons on his sleeve, it's actually just a plastic piece that's put into a sewn, you know, provision right here. So, you know, as static with the helmet on, I love this piece. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate how we remove the helmet per the instructions by SideShow. The other piece I didn't inform you guys about was the stand that comes from SideShow. I really like this stand. It's a little different than what everybody else has been giving us. You know, we've been getting the with Hot Toys, we've really only received the Death Star, kind of the detention area framework for the stands. This one right here will be the actual flight bay of the Rebel base Yavin, and I think it looks awesome for just for a figure stand. It's real nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take him off the stand real quick. And the proper removal of the helmet, they tell you to remove this top piece out. There's actually 3 static pieces to this. I think it's decently engineered, but a little too over-engineered. Okay. So it do take time. So I like to pull it up from right here, and it comes off in one piece. Just be careful. The lenses on his helmet do retract, but I got to tell you, the only time you'll ever be able to move it up and down is when it's off the head. And I would probably never actually display it with the goggles up. And then it tells you to actually remove the right side of the helmet before you move to the left. I don't know why. It's just they have 4, or if I remember correctly, 3 pegs in here, and it just comes off to the side. And be careful, this is a wired right here. So I'd imagine if you mishandle it, you know, so it is designed to where you can move it around, but it is wired. So be careful that you are liable to actually possibly damage it permanently one day. But it's not that, I'd imagine it's not that hard to put it back. The chin strap, when you take it off, you don't have to worry because it is magnetized to where it can stay on right here. So whenever you pull one side, it's just going to come off. So that's how the helmet comes off of Luke. So you can see 3 pegs that come together. Me personally, I would have liked to see them do the magnets just because it's a little difficult to pull it apart. And same thing whenever, this is probably a little too tight to get on here. So I wish they would have put a little bit more thought into engineering that. So I'm going to put this back on. I'm going to put that right there. All right. So you remove static hair piece that's designed for the helmet here. And then you put on his full head of hair. And I just want to show you guys real quick, when you take a look, the tolerances, you can see staining already on the inside. That's why you have to be careful when you're, you know, don't force it if you don't have to, because you will, I mean, I know it's only on the inside, but one day you might end up doing it and really damaging it. So this one, if you remember him from the first movie, from episode 4, the hair actually went over his ear quite a bit. So we're gonna put the hair on. As you can see, you kind of almost have to force it, which I'm not a big fan of that. With his hair off, okay, or his hair on. And then before we get into the face sculpt, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the hands. I'm gonna show you guys right here. The one big thing that I've always loved about SideShow, they provide pegs for every set of hands. Sometimes it's the older ones, I remember them being a lot bigger, almost Medicom size, but I love that they provide a peg for every hand. Just makes life easier because it always seems easier to remove the hand and the peg stays in. It always seems the same way. Okay, now the top part of the gloves just come off, held in usually by the hands. So we'll go ahead and put his standard hands in, the ungloved hands. I'm actually going to put his bundled gloves back in. Just nice and easy. Always removing or taking off, I always twist and gentle movement. All right, so there you got his. I'll go ahead and try to pose him. That's Luke, X-Wing pilot from SideShow Collectibles 6 scale, with his helmet removed and the exclusive clutched gloves in his right hand. And we'll get Mr. Hai Lee of jhphotographyonline.com to get in tight on the head sculpt, because this is the part that a lot of people have been complaining. Now, we should be receiving our Hot Toys Tatooine Luke piece here pretty soon, and that one retails, if I remember correctly, at $220, if not $229.99. This one was $239.99, exclusive or non-exclusive. And a lot of people, when you know, anytime you see a production piece, you're always going to get a really nice piece, because that's what's gonna that's the sales pitch. That's what they're going to try to get you with, so that you can put in your orders. That's with most companies nowadays. And of course, whenever the actual piece came out, a lot of people were complaining of the actual face sculpt itself. I've always been, you know, forefront with everybody. The honest truth about it is, you know, that there's a reason why Hot Toys is #1 out there. I feel their sculpting is top, and then their paint work with Mr. JC Hung and team over there in Hot Toys Korea do a phenomenal job of painting, and that's why they are #1. Not to sell SideShow short, but there's not a lot of other companies that do compete well with actual face, actual, you know, human likeness. I got to tell you, looking at this face here, and maybe some of the, you know, we have Josephine here and Hai here, maybe they can tell me, but this is a phenomenal looking head sculpt still. Maybe the paint apps aren't, you know, apples to Hot Toys. You can't expect that. Of course, the price is higher than Hot Toys. Hot Toys, you're going to get a lot more, and you'll see that in our Tatooine Luke video where all the accessories, but is this $240? To me, yes. I still think it's a phenomenal piece at $240. We can't expect our toys to continuously stay at that $190, $200 price point that they were 8 years ago. Times have changed. The market has changed. Disney now owns Star Wars, and the license is getting competitive. So I think it's a phenomenal head sculpt. If you asked me, is it worth $240 compared to $230 SideShow to Hot Toys? Then my answer is no. That's the honest truth. Hot Toy gives you a better product. But is it worth $240 as a collectible toy? By all means, yes. That's my honest take on it. If, you know, if anyone else has the other way, they're more than happy to express it. But this is a phenomenal piece. I'm going to keep looking back at this for the next 10, 20 years, and short of them, you know, giving me a miniaturized Mark Hamill, this is a phenomenal looking Luke. I feel this captures him in how he looked. Maybe he looks a little older, but this is a phenomenal capture of how Mr. Hamill looked in episode 4, you know, A New Hope. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a brief one, just because you're not going to get a lot. You know, I really wanted to go over the mechanics of the helmet, the face sculpt, and how to remove, you know, obviously swap them out properly. Please subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the first of a few that we're going to bombard you guys during the holidays. We have the holiday set here going on at JH Photography and Dang's Dog Blog. And you should be seeing some more videos in the near future regarding a build-up, a 10-day build-up to The Force Awakens. We're just going to have a quick little video every day, you know, giving a rundown of one character, and then, you know, our personal take on why we love Star Wars and what we're looking for out of the new franchise. All right, until the next time, Dang Dog Bloggers, this is Pete. May the Force be with you.